But this is the first episode.
This is the first episode. I'm very excited.
Welcome to the Humble Hermits. Welcome to the Humble Hermits.
Welcome, welcome.
You're really pretty.
Thank you.
You look great. I love your ears.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you were born with them.
I was. Yes, I grew them myself.
400 and something years ago.
417.
417 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Which means she's been an adult for longer than I can trace my family lineage.
That's fun.
Hmm?
That's fun.
It's fun.
I've lived a long, interesting life.
Yeah. Mostly spent on a pirate ship.
Yes.
You know, with old Papa. What would we call him?
I don't think we actually have named him yet.
I don't know.
Maybe we just keep calling him my father.
Yeah. Elfo?
Elfo? No, that might be plagiarism. I don't know.
Elfo is clearly Elmo, just...
Yeah, he's also an elf.
Yeah.
My father isn't an elf. My father's a fairy. I'm a fairy.
Pharaoh. I think that's taken.
And it might also be plagiarism.
It's not how things work here at the Humble Hermit. What would his name be? That's always bothered me. Honestly, we have to put this in canon right now. Let's do a little thing right here.
Okay.
I can grab a book if we need to.
Yeah.
Do you want to grab a book?
I don't know. What's a good old pirate name?
Old pirate name. Well, that's the thing. Pirates were not that long ago.
Oh,
Like you had Gregory's, you had Daniels.
No, we see we can no.
Grand Pirate Gregory.
No, my pirate.
Yarr!
No offense, Greg, but my pirate name, my pirate father's name is not going to be Gregory.
No.
I feel like we can come up with something, a little more fantastical than that.
Fantastical.
Yeah, why don't you grab
Gregathor.
Gregathor? Perfect.
Yeah, that's like Dan into Denethor.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I mean, his father's name was like Ecthelion.
That's pretty cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
Or
that's
Denethor, son of something, heir to the throne. Who was Ecthelion? Who had the?
I have no idea. I appreciate that you think I would know.
I mean, you're Lord of the Rings geek. Also, if the argument ever starts Lord of the Rings over Star Wars, the answer is always going to be Baby Yoda.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's a universal truth.
Yeah, there's a lot of universal truths in life. This is the Dungeons and Dragons channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where we focus on mindfulness, trigger warnings. Not that we're focusing on the trigger itself. We're just trying to warn you ahead of time if it ever happens. And staying away from them. Trigger awareness.
Trigger awareness, yes.
I think that's better.
Yeah.
That's
a good way to put it.
Yeah, because we're not looking at trigger warnings. We're looking at to be aware that there are triggers and to shy away from them and still manage to tell the quality story. That's the hope, anyway.
Yes, and then giving warnings if something occurs that we don't plan for, which shouldn't happen.
So, obviously, everybody's seen it, right?
Yes.
Xanathar's Guide to Everything, which is a fantastic, if you didn't know, or hadn't purchased it yet, list of names for all different types of races and all different types of nationalities if you're human. And speaking of, do we think that your fairy has a nationality to analogous to human Earth? Sol A52, which is where we are, right?
Yes, I do think so.
Okay, so it's analogous to human news. So, what then race was he?
He was also Fae.
Well, I understand that, but if he's analogous to human, I'm asking for the naming structure specifically, right? Because you have all sorts of different fairy names, but we don't actually have fairy names in this thing.
You're right.
You could very easily use elf, but you could also use German.
True.
You could use, it literally could be anything, or a mix of the two.
Yeah, I'd rather it be Elvish sounding. Yeah. Maybe even French sounding.
There is French.
Yeah, maybe a mix between Elvish and French.
Alright, so let's try this out. This is a whole new way to do this, right? Let's roll 3 names in Elvish.
Okay, what do we got?
Elf myth. You gotta give me a percent dice. I need 3 percent dice. We'll write them down.
How many? 3, just say
3. Roll 3. Roll
3
percent dice 3 times. D100, please.
Just the 100?
Well, tell me what it is. Tell me what you rolled.
67.
67.
Yeah.
Thank you.
28.
28.
And 53.
53. So 67, we have Nal. N-A-A-L. 28, we have Draley. Or Driad. 53. Emerald. Which I actually like.
That's kind of cool.
I actually like two of those. Stay unbiased for the moment.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to. You can be as biased as you want. It is your father, right?
That's
You get to name, I mean, regardless of what we name here, it doesn't matter what you roll, you can actually choose.
Amazing.
It's an amazing thing. It's Dungeons and Dragons, right? Oh, by the way, one thing we are doing is we're doing away with experience points, and we're going to go on a milestone-based leveling structure. So, which is my way of rewarding role-playing at the table, because you're going to be able to accrue experience points, getting closer to milestone, not experience points, being closer to milestones based on your role-playing within the structure itself. Building a better story is going to earn you those milestones. Anyway, give me 3 more rolls.
3 more?
Yeah.
34.
34.
98. And 19.
34, we have Flowquart.
No.
Her father's name is Farquaad, sir.
No, thank you.
Farquaad the Pirate's Ferry, yar! Tan guy.
Tan guy? Also no. I'm gonna have to pass on that one as well.
I actually don't know how to pronounce that, but it's literally tan guy. How does one pronounce that in French? I actually don't know.
Right. I'm sure there's a way.
Oh yeah, no, and it definitely doesn't sound like tan guy. Or it might. I don't know. Oh. Denise.
And Denise?
Denise. Like Dennis with one N.
Right.
So you have
That's terrible.
Nal. You could be Denali. You have so Elven names.
Well, it's just Denali, and I can't think of that either.
Nal, Draley, Emerald,
Mm-hmm.
Elf, Flowquart, Fanguy, and Dennis.
I like, what was the last first name you gave me?
Last first name?
Yeah.
In French?
No, in
Emerald?
English. Emerald.
Emerald.
Emerald. I like Emerald.
Emerald.
Emerald. Now, canonically, I don't have a last name, so he could also not have a last name.
It's true.
He could just be Emerald.
Right. He was king of the fairies.
Right.
Yeah. Pirate King Emerald. Beautiful.
I love it. I love it.
Pirate King Emerald. And he was an awful pirate.
Why? What makes you say that?
Because he played a Johnny Depp story. He was quite literally Jack Sparrow.
Yeah. Does that make him an awful pirate?
No, just super tropey. And yeah, it does actually make you a bad pirate because you're supposed to be immoral. Immoral.
I mean, listen.
Yeah,
I'm sure he had his moments.
Maybe he dealt with some trauma and he's like, we'll never cross that line. This line specifically, we don't cross. And everybody's just like, fuck it, we're making money. You know what I mean? That's really what it's about.
Always.
Like, we're not getting into piracy to hurt people. We're getting into piracy to benefit ourselves and to buy a private island with a little tiny shed on it, where we drop off our women and go pirating again. Or men. Or not, or whatever kind of creatures we are. We're in a fantasy world, really, honestly. So, your character's name is Estrella.
Yes, I'm
Actually,
sure.
please, tell us about your fairy druid.
Yes, I am a Circle of the Moon druid. My name is Estrella. as I had mentioned before, I'm 417 years old. My father is a pirate king, was a pirate king. He did pass recently. And
The pesky cults.
yes, the dragon cult made an enemy of him. So, I'm slowly working on, what would be the word? Providing some level of revenge for my father, along with, figuring out what I'm going to do now, because I don't know what else am I going to do. I used to just adventure with my father. Once I grew up enough, I was like a child, but, like 100 years old, and I would travel with him, and it was great. And my mom was at home being a seamstress. It was lovely. Great life. But now I have to figure out something else to do.
And that's why we have recently boarded an extra-planar ship that isn't just going to a different plane of existence. It's actually folding reality and going to a new universe.
Cool.
Right? That's exceptionally greater than going to the plane. See, the issue is that the energy that it takes of this ship, and you were described this by Captain Silverscales, the literally silver-scaled dragon. Had his boot up on a barrel and a mug of ale in his hand, and said to the crowd outside of the inn, "Greetings and good tidings. I am Captain Silverscales of the ship Mariposa, and I welcome you to travel with me to a place where all your life's problems can disappear." And that was enough to entice you onto, well, I'm done.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah. My father's dead. I haven't spoken to Mom. I'm going to go to a new universe. Which you didn't know at that moment, but, you found out.
Right.
You're still, I'm jumping on.
Still, absolutely. It's a new adventure.
Yeah. He actually knew your father.
He did.
So he claims.
Yep, he claimed to know my father. I have to talk with Perrin about that.
Perrin is your follower.
Perrin is my follower. He's a good buddy of mine. He served for my father for a while. And therefore, treats me like the princess I am and protects me and watches my back. Was he a deep gnome? He's a deep gnome.
Bald-headed, dark gray skin.
Yes.
And very intelligent green eyes.
Yeah. Very intelligent, very gruff.
Very gruff.
Not very well-mannered, we'll say, but he is respectful.
He's a strong, silent type.
Yes.
Except when there's food involved. And then he's ravenous. And has tripped over himself multiple times in the previous adventures. And then also saved you quite often.
It's true.
Because he is, in fact, a very capable fighter.
He is. He's a battle master, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a few attacks.
Yeah, just a couple.
Got a couple useful skills. Does his thing, as it were. So now you find yourself on the deck of the ship the Mariposa, which is, when you went down to see it, you were at Waterdeep. Down at the docks of Waterdeep, among the flying seagulls and the briny air, just kind of enlivening you because you had spent hundreds of years at sea with your father. This is home to you. You see moored in its own private dock, or its own private pier, a flying vessel that dwarfs the size of any ship nearby. It must be at least 260 feet from stem to stern. It is deep enough to have at least 3 floors. But greater than all of that is the fact that it floats 20 feet above the sea, tied down by ropes to the pier itself. As you approach, or as you step, through the street, and you have this wide open area of this dock, at that exact moment, summoned by the call of a seal, they unfurl the sails, and a gigantic red dragon has been painted on these sails of this ridiculously ostentatious ship just floating there. And you were informed of what it looked like. You were told you'll know it when you see it. Well, that's not the Mariposa, that's the Guardian. The small dinghy next to it. But that is, in fact, the Mariposa, as you can see, in broad golden letters across the back, with two, naked mermaids flying out with their battle spears. Yeah, of course. I mean, who else would Captain Silverscales?
Right. I expect nothing less.
The half Spanish, half Dragonborn pirate. Right?
Right.
That's beautiful. So you found yourself aboard this, and it is about to take off. Captain Silverscales is on the top deck, near the wheel, looking down, addressing the ship and all of its crew. There are about 60 passengers and 40 crew running this ship. And it seems like not enough people. You have yet to view your cabins, but the talk amongst the other people in front of you, you hear about the grand size of each and every single one of them. This is a boat of luxury. If it's going to make this journey, if it's going to punch through the fold in the universe, and take all the energy that it needs to, and all the money that you spent to get here.
Yeah, 10,000 gold. It's not cheap.
Each.
5,000 each.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm not letting you make me pay 10,000 each.
Don't worry. She is a princess of the Fae. So she pushed all of this off, the obligation to pay this off on her Fae folk to the world she's arriving to.
Right. I mean, obviously I'm not going to make them pay it. I plan on negotiating my way out of this, just so you know.
Well, thank you. I'm going to make it as difficult as possible. No. All for the role play. It's really all for the fun. If D&D is not fun for the people sitting at the table, if people feel weird about it, and you know when you're coming wrong, step away from that table, right?
Right.
It's time to take a break, or maybe find something different with different people. And that's okay. It's okay to be picky, right?
Definitely.
Even if you pick yourself down to a select few people, those people are going to be quality. And that is what Captain Zeladin says at the top thing.
Beautiful.
People of quality. Gentlemen, ladies, and anything else that I have. I mean, there is literally a flump in a pirate hat floating next to you. Right? Beautiful. I am certain that most of you would prefer to keep your past in the past. And to that end, I must inform you that if any of you break the rules of my ship, there is a sending spell that will inform our port of call of each and every one of your life's transgressions. But if we can all learn to respect one another's boundaries, then that information will incinerate upon your arrival, never to be seen or heard again. Now that we have that little small bit of unpleasantness out of the way, I welcome you to the Mariposa, the most unique vessel in the universe. Able to fold space itself to punch through to an alternate reality, just for the fact that there's gold there. In true ostentatious, powerful magic form. This is clearly the reason that we have magic, to do things like this. We don't want to help the people. Remember that. Servant's important. Punching holes in reality, also important. So, but I digress. Right? Like, complete digression here, right? Like, I just can't believe how messed up Faerun actually is. We were playing the Forgotten Realms era, right? And there's every reason to, like, even in medieval fiefdom, where people could have real problems, well-written and well-established problems, and not have that classist society. But we do, because what else do we know? Capitalism. Available to you are great amenities of all sorts, and we have a library on the second deck that some say rivals that of Candlekeep, and I say is far greater, since ours is locked in an extra-dimensional space on a plane-shifting vessel. Think about that. We have a 2-time Neverwinter Food Fair winning kitchen with an all-you-can-eat anything-you-can-imagine menu. And don't worry, all of our products are ethically sourced from across the plains. Each of you is invited. Do you trust him? Each of you is invited to anywhere on the ship that isn't officer or crew quarters. Those are strictly off limits. That does not, however, include your gracious captain's quarters. You may visit me any time. I love to talk up any single one of you, as often as you want. I'm here for you. Your money makes the vessel go round. There is some housekeeping information I would like you to listen to, and if you wish to get back to your deposit, I would suggest that you do so. So without further ado, here's my first mate, Brianna Trotters. Please afford them the same courtesy that you've given me, and you will be able to go about your business all the sooner. Thank you for choosing the Mariposa, and I hope you enjoy your stay.
This is like a month-long ship, right?
There's a good 4 weeks on this journey, right? Levels to it, which you're about to be described to.
Good.
Right. Brianna Trotters. A short woman, dark, like not brown of skin, right? Sorry, not brown of skin, with like black pants, copper shoes with the twirly toes, and long pointed gnome ears and nose. Hops up onto this box in front of the podium and points at her throat and casts magic mouth. Right. Well, thaumaturgy, really. Right? Thaumaturgy on your thaumaturgy down the throat to project, and says, "Welcome to welcome, passengers of the Mariposa. My name is Brianna Trotters, and I will be your first mate, which means stay out of my way. I'm really busy running errands and running all of the orders that happen on this ship. I don't have time for you. So the best thing you can do to avoid getting some magical shackles put on you and thrown into the brig so that we'll just take you to where we're going without any food or water. If you survive, you survive. The best way to do that is honestly just stay out of our way. Thank you, and goodbye." So she hops down, uncasts the thing, and the last thing you hear is, "I hate trips like this." And she just like casts it off. She just like throws her throws like dancing lights off to the side, just in a fit of rage. Just casts a spell and trots off into the distance. All of you are kind of like standing there, shuffling around. Everybody's looking around like, what just happened? Right? Then you hear, "Pull in the ropes, boys. We're off." And the ship begins to rise.
More than the 20 feet in the air it is?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. And rise. And pick up speed. And even as it angles up into the air, shooting at least 200 knots, through the air, toward the clouds, in the distance, you feel like gravity is still down. You're aware that you're angled up into the air, but you don't feel the wind. You don't feel movement. So some magic keeps you rooted, right? And safe. And eventually, the red dragon that is painted onto this giant sail begins to glow red. And at the very prow of the ship, at its very point, a wavy luminescence, purple luminescence, starts shooting and wrapping itself around this giant wooden structure. And it keeps growing in speed and tempo until this luminescence of purple turns to a solid point to a spear, and eventually just punches through the air, ripping reality. As in, you can watch as you turn around, you whip around, and it just seals up behind you. You are now in the astral plane, where stars from other planes of existence and astral energies swirl in this giant purple-blue vortex around the ship as you just travel through this plane of existence that you've never been. But you know your ancestors did come through this at some point, since you are from the Feywild. But this is your first time seeing it. You've never seen magic so powerful, and you weren't even aware that it existed. But here we are. It's beautiful. Traveling through.
I imagine I tear up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Perrin nudges you on the shoulder. Hey, Mom. Do you think we should talk to Captain Zeldin? Because it's not a name I've heard of before. If he knew your father, and he seemed to know things about your father, I want to know how he actually.
So you don't know him?
No.
Okay, yeah, we should probably go speak
It was
to him.
150 years I sailed with your father.
Yeah.
Growing on 200 before he was taken from us. And I have not heard this man's name once.
It's comforting. Yeah, let's go have a chat with Captain Silverscales?
Silverscales.
Silverscales.
Yeah, Captain Silverscales. So, where we left off, right, was Perrin was wondering who this man Silverscales was. He had remained silent up until now, probably just stewing on this, knowing that you wanted to leave.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So like communication is key. Should have told me right away.
He's been going through a lot. He aged 40 years in your last battle. He's 290 years old. Like, he's a decade away from, like, record level of death right now. You know what I mean? For the average.
I understand, but Perrin's got this. He's fine.
Yeah. I'm surprised he can still swing a sword.
2 hand axes.
Or 2 hand axes, but my point is he left, right?
Okay.
Anyway. I'm sorry. So you're on this deck, right? And you saw Silverscale walk down this butterfly staircase. Also, this ship is 250 feet long, right? The deck of this ship is on 3 levels. You're on the center level, right? Where there's a one of those large turning wheels in the center. It's double-masted, or it's triple-masted all the way down the ship. So you have 2 raised platforms on the front of the fore and the aft of the ship, right? And these platforms on the aft of the ship is where the navigator's wheel is, which is where the captain was speaking, and that is his cabin. His cabin is directly beneath that. That platform also has doors off to the side, right, on a lower part. So the ship sides are down a flight of stairs. You're on the mid deck, right? Where either end you can walk up to the forecastle, or you can walk into one ends in the captain's cabin, and the other side ends into crew quarters, right? You can walk down to the sides of the ship, and which also enter into hallways leading down to further floors of the ship. There is also an access hatch on the center structure, the center where you are at, with stairs down to the next floor. It is a maze of a ship in there. I'm telling you. Yeah. There is all sorts of amenities, all sorts of different types of cabins, different themes, magically decorated to fit the exact passenger that is in there at that moment. Yeah. I mean, imagine like Star Trek's holodeck, and that's your bedroom.
I mean,
yeah. You touch and feel everything. Right? Beautiful magic. So you're walking toward. You said you want to find the captain.
Right.
Right. So you're walking toward the captain, and one of the other travelers, actually, a woman who's about 8 foot tall, Goliath woman. So like kind of like pallid gray skin, red tribal tattoos up her face and down her head. She has the shaved sides of her head and a big ponytail tied into one long braid. Her massive shoulders show a lot of scarring, where her bare arms. She's wearing a tunic with cut off arms, sashed in the front with like golden silk, and carries a double-bladed battle axe strapped to her back. And she looks at you. She's, pardon me.
Hi, can I help you?
She's looking down at you.
So I haven't seen a fairy for a long time. And, back home we kind of, we venerated them a little bit, I think the word is. And I just want to say, thanks.
Yeah, no sweat.
Oh, yeah, saving the mountain Goliaths.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From, the crumbling mountain, which would have fallen on your forest.
Right.
Yeah. 500 years, no, nothing.
No, I fully remember.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
you
with
looked
you.
confused for a second, and
No,
I
I'm
just,
with you.
it's just really good that you guys helped us out.
So of course, we protect our forest and our friends.
Anyway, you had any conversations with this captain?
No, I haven't. Actually, I was about to just go engage in one right now.
Right. I saw him 2 days ago for the first time at the Gilded Pegasus.
Mm-hmm.
My friend also saw him at the Yawning Portal the exact same time, and I just wanted to know, did you see him 2 days ago, roughly?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Interesting. I just was wondering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
Anyway,
that's
I hate to bother you again. You keep doing the good things.
You
Just the really socially awkward Goliath, steps off, kind of tucks her head behind her head down, kicks stuff to the deck, kind of toddles off to the left. Clearly embarrassed.
should. I love it. I love being told how exotic I am. It's great.
No.
It's like, wow, I haven't seen one of you in a long time.
Roll perception check for me on that.
I'm gonna say that's a 9.
Okay. You can tell that the embarrassment she's walking away with is absolutely genuine. Your insight tells you that there's something more with this, him having appeared multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't tell why.
Right.
Due to the timing and all sorts of messed up, and someone's trying to recruit for a long voyage like this. So you think it's normal, so you kind of put it better.
Sure. Okay.
Leading up to the captain's cabin, right? And you said you could walk in any time?
He did.
So what are you going to do?
Get attached. I'm gonna do a little light, cheery knock, and open up the door.
Okay, so just a knock to let him know for a second.
Yeah.
Alright, so the captain's Silverscales has now his amazing red brocade double-breasted coat hanging on a post. Stripe-worn hat hanging on a post. And for the first time you see him with a completely bald head. There's no adornments, no horns, no scales, nothing. It's just smooth, greenish skin. Clashing very strongly with, it's a not nice pallid green. It's kind of putrid green, peabod green. On his rest of his body and also the skin. He's sitting there, just rubbing his feet up, leaned back in his favorite chair, feet up on his desk. He looks at you and he's up. Puts his head back on straight and sit. He says, "Well, hello, Astral. What brings you here?"
Hi. So I figured since you had traveled with my father and, you'd be super excited to see, our old friend Perrin here.
Ah, yes, Perrin. Pirate King Emma spoke of him highly. Said he was a fantastic person. That he was glad to have him around as long as he did. That when he walked on that boat, he was just trying to be a normal bosun. But your father had picked him up and saw him immediately as a person who knew how to carry his own weight and could make others do the same without feeling was too strict.
Can I, like, look at Perrin and see if there's any indication of whether or not that's true?
Would you roll an insight check?
21.
So you can see that Aaron's eyes have slightly widened and his brows slightly more furrowed than normal. Any person who didn't know him would just say that's just his normal demeanor, but you can tell that this information is taken him kind of by surprise.
Okay. I would ask him where he met the pirate king. Where he met him.
In the Fae Forest, I had the unfortunate circumstance of running into a coven of sea hags when I was out at sea. And through a very unfortunate transfiguration, they turned me into something that was an aberration, really. And I lost myself for a while in the monstrosity of it. And it wasn't until I had both of my legs torn off by a patrol of stop watching that I found myself crawling up onto the shores of the Sword Coast. And luckily being found by a dryad at the edge of the forest. And where I met your mother, in fact. Her enchanted needle was the only thing in the forest that could magically mend what was no longer there. As I'm sure you know.
Of course,
She weaves ideas and dreams into fabric, into skin, apparently. If it wasn't for your family, I would be dead.
That's really kind of you to say. What?
Your face. Why?
I know, I'm floored. I'll pretend like my parents have told me that story before. I'm also going to look to Perrin again and see what his face is saying. Insight check?
Yeah.
20. Combined 20.
Combined. Perrin, in Perrin's face, you can see that shock is fake. But in its place isn't concern or distrust. It's like he's come to a realization. Like, oh, I see. Like something clicked.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I can probably stop interrogating this guy now.
He's just smiling because he knows.
Right, yeah.
Like, I'm not sure why your father never spoke. And being Fae touched in two ways, two dramatically different ways, changed me in so many different aspects of my life, in so many different aspects of being. Your mother provided the grounding to my psyche that I needed, but my body was still maimed by the hags, and my entire soul had been torn away from what I was in physical form, and I had to cross the plains to find it. In doing so, I found the first of the enchanted wood that would become the Mariposa. A vessel that I believe I have recreated from ancient texts was the first voyaging ship used by the creatures that we would call gods to create the planets. And this is my maiden voyage. We're in it together.
Cool. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing it.
Of course. But I'm glad that you came to my cabin, sir. I am. It has been... It's been interesting seeing an old friend's daughter. One that he always spoke about, kept in the highest regard, that I have never had the chance to meet. And I'm gonna warn you first before I warn the rest of everybody tonight. Folding of the universe takes a toll on those crossing that bridge. The energies that it requires are not fully shielded from the creatures that are inside that bubble that we're going to build with Mariposa. And it's not dangerous as far as we know. Well, the problem is that it feeds on your emotions. So if you have regrets, or powerful feelings, or things of that nature, the best answer that we found is meditation. Try to clear your mind. Just let it all go.
Thank you for the warning.
Of course, I will be letting every one of the passengers know that we don't want anybody caught by surprise, but we did mention that there was a price of this travel, and it wasn't all just good. This is the price. It's survivable. It's painful. I myself have a lot to atone for. But please avail yourself of all those luxuries that we have until your first night here. We won't be arriving for the next 3 days to the Terror. Anyway, enjoy yourself. And at that, when he finishes, you hear a soft knock at the door, and someone opens it, and it's the Goliath. And he says, "Oh, just a moment, Heisenberg. I will be right with you." He says, "Please, see yourself out and enjoy anything. Go to the library, read something, eat something, enjoy.
Have a great night."
You as well. And thank you. Thank you for everything. I'm sorry that we lost him. But he's lived a very long time.
He has an character.
You walk out. Perrin looks at you. He says, "Mom. Your father spoke of him for a very long time, but he never said something. I know. This man can be trusted. I have full faith. And it was nice to hear that he had such your father felt the same way about me as I did about him. I'm hungry. I'm going to the mess. I need to eat." And he just toddles on the little thing. So I have food time. What would you like to do?
I kind of want to listen at the door to see what the captain and Hildegard are talking about.
Mm-hmm. Please roll a perception check. Investigation.
18.
18?
Mm-hmm.
You hear nothing. The door itself is completely muffles any sound from within.
Okay. Are there any other passengers nearby?
Yeah, there are passengers throughout the ship. Hustle and bustle. There's a significant amount of them. Kind of like sitting off to the side on barrels and against railings, but they're all kind of keeping their eye on the door itself. that you're standing next to because they're all trying to talk to him.
Okay.
It's a rare invite to be invited. So now it's like that you broke the ice, so to speak. Everybody's kind of like waiting for their turn.
Okay.
Busybodies.
Yeah, I love that. So, I want to wait until Hildegard is done talking to the captain so that I may speak with her again.
Mm-hmm.
But while I do that, I don't really feel like wasting any time, so I'm also going to go to that group of people that are like standing nearby, waiting but not waiting, and see if I can strike up a conversation with one of them to see like why they want to talk to the captain. Like, what's their weird thing that's going on? Right? Everyone seems to have a weird thing.
Right. So that's one thing that I will mention too, is that everybody seems to have a weird thing. There are all sorts of creatures on this boat. There are women and men and beings, flumps of all class, all the noblest of the noble. You think you actually see one of the families of Neverwinter, like one of the many daughters of Neverwinter, standing off to the side, but you can't quite be sure. You know, the description matches. Golden, almost platinum hair, draped down to the waist. Long green dress with golden embroidery on the long sleeves. You know she is a powerful wizard in her own right. If it is who you think it is, and you're like, what are you even doing here? All the way down to like what is clearly a street urchin, like a small little, you don't know what, humanoid with musty red hair and covered in dirt, kind of like hiding between the barrels. Everybody's kind of like shying away from it. That, as if it's a creature, but you know, everybody's kind of aware of it. It's supposed to be here. You know, none of the crew members act as if it's weird. Mm-hmm. Right? They're just, you know, tying riggings and letting down things and, you know, checking enchantments and runes that are all wrapped around all of the banisters all the way around the edge of the ship. Like, just doing their job. But it don't seem like it's weird that we're just here. So you have a gamut of things to choose.
Okay. I want to go talk to the street urchin.
Alright.
Oh. Hello.
Hi, I'm Estrella. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Baldir.
What brings you here, Baldir?
Well, I got lost, and the captain offered me a really warm place to stay in a nice bed. And, well, he said I could stay here for free. If I wanted to work, I could work, or if I'm going to get off the next stop. But he said it was a really good place for me. And, well, I mean, it's kind of true. We tried really hard, but my friends couldn't make it. One of them died of the flu last week. It was crazy. And the other one, he has frostbite, and, well, he's stuck in the sewers, and, well, I had to leave because it was dangerous, and it was just a problem. So I was out there crying in the gutter, and Captain Silverscales was out, was walking the streets with his torch, and I almost stepped on my feet, and then he said he offered me a place to stay.
I'm so glad you're here and safe. And that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Me too. I saw a lot of people. Like, I mean, not the nicest people I was in the city, but like, they're all paying attention to me.
There's a lot of people. I think everyone's a little bit curious about each other here.
Yeah, but everybody looks at you too. How do you deal with it? I mean, no one's ever seen a fairy.
Yeah, that's true. It gets a little frustrating at times, the looks people give me. But, I think it's good to just ignore them. Just look past them. Try not to really give them any attention either. Like don't give them the attention that they're giving you.
Well, I don't know if I can do that. You mean just kind of like let them look, but don't let it bother you?
Yeah. But if it bothers you, you can also just tell them not to look.
I can say this.
Definitely.
In the city, people like throw things at me.
Well, they can deal with me if they want to throw things.
So I can tell you something else?
Absolutely.
Okay. What's your name?
I'm Estrella.
Estrella. Well, it's really nice to meet you. I heard that there's bats down in like the second deck.
Really?
Yeah.
but it's like dark. It's like eerie in the hallways, you know? And, well, you want to go with me?
Definitely.
Okay. She like reaches up and she's about like almost 3 feet tall. It's a little taller than
A
you.
little taller than me.
Yeah, but she like reaches like your floating spell.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. So he grabs your hand. And like 40 feet away there's a large like 10-foot hatch that's with its door open. It's like a big iron door, braced wooden door. And that's the stairs down into the lower decks. As you approach, people kind of like, shy away from you, but they're not trying to be rude, so they're not like moving, they're kind of just like looking the other way as people do. Like, you can still tell they don't really want to admit that you're there, right? But everybody's also kind of like side-eyeing you while they do so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to roll an insight check to see if they're looking at you or the kid?
Yeah. 21.
All right, so there's actually this like really like prim and proper lady in this like beautiful purple gown with like puffy shoulders and like one of those big bustles in the back, with really high steel gray hair, and she is completely ignoring you and literally just like kind of like looking down her nose at it. What was her name? The little girl's.
Oh crap! I don't know. Did you tell me her name?
Well, the little girl with the red hair is the one who's being stared at. And this prim and proper lady is like looking down. And she passed.
I'm gonna shoot her a death glare.
She backs up and roll intimidation check, please. What contestants?
18.
Yeah, no, she is mortified that you noticed.
Okay.
And she just turns deathly pale. Oh, I'm sorry. And she just kind of like steps off, puts her hands on the rail, and looks in the direct opposite direction. So you get to this this stairway, and you remember how the girl told you that it was like really dark and scary. It is well lit. There are lanterns hanging with magical fire in it, giving like this nice orange hue, really warm glow throughout all of this wooden ship, right? The hallway that it enters into is broad. It's about 40 feet wide. It's almost in the exact center of the ship. You go about like 20 stairs down, which is pretty deep considering, right? And this hallway has a giant ornate Waterdavian rug in the center. And it's a huge oval. Like, I'm talking a 30-foot long rug by 15 foot wide. Right? And there are there's 6 doors on one side. There are 3 doors on the side where the stairs enters down. There are 2 doors on either side. And this is actually where your guest rooms are. The 2 center doors on either side lead further into the ship, right? So it's just a bunch of crew cabins and 2 away to the north and to the south.
Okay.
Right, which lead, kind of loop back around and go to the edge of the ship, because the ship is, again, like 80 feet wide, 90 feet wide. It's very large. Right. You actually do know. I want you to roll an insight check, please. Well, actually, a knowledge check, history.
11.
There was a cursory explanation of where things were. You think it's to the north.
Great.
Right. You're like, yeah, I kind of remember this. Yeah, no, that's definitely up ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. So, there's like a giant bath house inside this ship. Imagine, obviously. You pass through the double doors, and there's a large bathroom sign. It's a bathtub, steam coming out of it, hanging like a typical tavern fashion. Just to draw you in, right? You know exactly where you're going. You're like, oh yeah, I remember the sign, duh. Of course I remember this. Why did I not remember this? Man, I was shown this like once. It's a big show. So you go to this bathhouse, and it's got like coral green, or seafoam green coral pillars wrapping in 4 corners of this large, deep basin bathhouse, which could probably fit about 15 people in at any one time. This is a giant, large bath. It is steaming hot, the perfect temperature. There are all sorts of spigots around for different perfumed soaps or conditioners at various intervals. And the little girl next to you is holding your hand. She's kind of shaking. She's looking around, and she's like, "Do I have to take off my clothes?"
I mean, no.
No?
I don't know. How do those baths work? You said it can fit 15 people?
That's a good large
It's
communal
like
bath.
communal bath.
It's a large communal bath. Right. Only you two are there.
I mean, she probably was in a bathing suit, does she? She's a streaker.
Yeah. She's a little. She doesn't know anything, right? Like
Right.
she hasn't. She has never. She like grew up on the streets, right?
Yeah.
The point is, she doesn't. She's like, I've never actually like taken a bath before.
That's so sad.
Like, what do I do here?
Okay.
Like I don't want to be dirty.
Right, it's
anymore.
okay.
Like, yeah.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's totally okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I'll explain this whole thing for you. No worries at all. So I explained to her that yes, she can take her clothes off to take a bath to be clean, and I'm gonna find her some clean clothes.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be my number one priority here. I'm gonna.
Right, and you actually, there is a large wardrobe off of this.
Is
which,
there?
yes.
I was
A
gonna say
large,
I'll
large
give her my
magical
own.
wardrobe
Okay.
for your clothes. Like I said, everything here is, all the amenities are there.
Beautiful.
Right.
Okay.
You go up to a large double-breasted armoire, right? Double-doored armoire, and you open it, and it is 40-foot hallway of clothing racks.
Nice.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
From many different eras. There's clothes that you've never actually seen before. Like, in cuts that you couldn't even imagine. There's even a robe which you're pretty sure is an eldritch horror itself, because your brain actually cannot comprehend the shape that it ever stays in.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm gonna find her some clothing.
Okay.
And bring that back to her so that she can clean herself. I'll explain how to wash her hair, because I'm sure she doesn't wash her hair.
No, it's matted.
I'm gonna help her wash her hair.
It's completely bound up in itself.
Okay. So we spend lots of time. I don't think I even have anything to like cast to help me fix her hair.
Roll a dexterity check.
Dexterity? Yeah,
Yeah,
see if I
please.
can get out the knots and everything.
Just a straight dexterity.
18.
18. Yeah, no, you're effective. You actually, without much pain at all. You have very, very small fingers, right? Right. You could even roll at an advantage, but that's enough. Right.
Perfect.
So yeah, so you get all this stuff out, and you get this little tiny street urchin who you find out is about 9 years old, right? And she doesn't know what she wants to do for work on the ship. Like, she's actually concerned about this. She's like, I can work. I've seen people work. I can work before, you know, and like I'll do whatever he wants me to do as long as I can stay here. He's really nice.
It is really nice, and I'm sure that he has the perfect job for you.
I hope so. He seems like a really good guy.
He
Like,
does.
Just don't want to. I want this to be real. It's like a fairy tale.
It is. I think so too. I'm sure it's real. And I'll help you out any way I can.
That's good. I'm glad that I get to know you for a while. Anyway, it's getting kind of late. I'm gonna get some food and go to sleep.
That's a great idea.
So she's all dressed now in whatever clothes you wanted. Did you want to describe what type of clothes she has?
I got her like little overalls.
Mm-hmm.
Little like corduroy overalls. And a little just like a white t-shirt underneath. So she can be comfy, and some sneakers. She's not.
Little
she's got
Converse
her-
sneakers.
Yeah, little Converse. Yeah, that'd be adorable. Yeah, little overalls, little corduroy overalls.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really cute. I like that. So she just like jets off.
Absolutely.
There's one corner. You're probably really tired. It's taking you a few hours to get.
Yeah, I'm a little exhausted. Yeah.
You're actually exhausted. So,
you yourself are looking for food at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I would also like to go to the mess hall and grab a bite to eat.
It's down one more deck.
Cool.
Yeah, well, your vessel.
Right.
There's one for the crew, one for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, just
Okay.
so you know, just for flavoring purposes, there's 2 mess halls in this ship. It is a think Mississippi Bayou steamboat turned into a triple-masted, planar shifting, universe-folding, extra-dimensional space, time and relative dimension space ship that is delivering a whole bunch of crew to a whole bunch of people to a previously colonized world, which we will get into in the next episode.
Yay. Colonization.
As we are, so you get some food, right? And you have the choice of whatever delicious Fey cuisine that you wish.
Mm-hmm.
Which I imagine if, I were a fairy, probably a lot of nuts involved in that. Mushrooms.
I mean, yeah. Fruits.
Grapes.
Yeah.
I see grapes.
Vegetables.
I don't see cheeses.
No, I don't
dairy
think.
Animal products.
I can't imagine taking the time to ferment some dairy and make cheese.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Not that I don't have the time, but it just seems like that wouldn't be I'm not going to be out there milking cows.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
A lot of truthfulness.
Yeah. Sounds delicious.
So, you get food. And are you going to go off to bed, or are you looking for anything more?
No. I do want to find Hildegard
Okay.
before I go.
All right. It's Hildegard.
Yeah.
Right. You don't even know Heisengard, by the way.
You said Hildegard.
Did I say Hildegard?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's Hildegard now.
I wrote down Hildegard.
I'm pretty sure. We'll go back.
We'll go back, but I'm pretty sure it's Hildegard.
They're fluid,
Okay.
right?
Beautiful.
Because it was actually Heisengard Hildebrand.
Oh, okay.
So it can be Hildegard Heisenbrand.
Heisenbrand.
Or Heisengard Hildebrand, depending on which way we go. That's the wonderful thing about fantasy. It doesn't matter as long as you maintain the motif. And you see, in the mess hall, with a giant pile of food, just piled with turkey legs and burgers and you're not even sure what type of mash that is, but some type of root vegetable that is just you can see little strands of it kind of hanging out. This is this kind of almost looking like mashed potatoes, but similar to bark at the same time. She's just plowing through everything. Turkey balls are going sailing. She's shoveling her food. She's using a ladle for a spoon. I mean, she's 8'2", actually.
Nice.
She's massive, right? And covered in that root vegetables, kind of not horrible face. She's a fucking monster. I'm just saying that she has it all over her chin. And she looks up and she sees me floating in, right? She's like, you caught me unawares. Sorry. Sorry, it just takes a handkerchief out, was a towel for you, right? And she's cleaning her face, fixing her hair. She looks back, she's like, I didn't know that that royalty didn't have private quarters. I didn't think you'd eat with us.
I'm sorry. No, I'm happy to eat with you. I wanted to come say hi and see how you're doing.
Well, hi. I was rude. My name's Heisengard Hildebrand.
Heisengard Hildebrand? Sorry.
Well, if you want it, it's brand, but
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
No.
I don't.
Heisengard
I'm not picky.
Heisengard Hildebrand.
Whatever you want.
Sorry, Heisenberg. My bad.
It's okay. It's wonderful weather here in the astral plane. Yeah.
Yeah, so what were you talking to the captain about?
About there, well, in Goliath War, during the times of the kingdom of the giants, when we were kind of much different people, a number of us broke off in rebellion and disappeared into the plains, never to be seen or heard from since. And I was talking to the captain about maybe this is where they went to. And being the first Goliath that's ever taken travel like this, or maybe hopefully not the first Goliath that's ever taken a travel like this, has it's got me really hopeful. Your people really helped me out a lot, or my tribe out a lot. Unfortunately, they were ravaged by gnolls, and I am the last survivor of that. But if I could find my people, that would be pretty cool.
That would be super cool. I really hope you can find your people.
Yeah, no, me too. And really, if I do, I can tell them who we've turned into as a people.
That's super cool.
Yeah, from a different, when we broke off. And then we the giants are no longer ruling. They don't know that. I would assume.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. So I thought that was pretty cool. That'd be a really good thing. So we were talking about that. And then he told me about the possibility of good dreams tonight. That was terrifying. And if I needed accommodations, because I tend to go into a rage, that he's more than willing to help.
That's very nice of him.
Yeah, no, he seems like a lifesaver. Honestly, most of us have had some level of our lives being saved or new directions found. The past couple of days, it's been a whirlwind, really. Everything just got different.
Yeah. For me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Well, tell me about I'm sorry, I talked a lot.
Please don't apologize for that.
I'm just nervous around royalty.
I promise I'm really not that royal.
Well, yeah, you are.
I mean, technically. But you don't have to be nervous around me.
Okay. Well, it's really nice to meet you.
You too.
I'm going to be able to talk to you more on the ship, I guess. You've been with me for a while.
Definitely. Yep. But I'm going to go to bed now. I need to sleep.
That's good.
Yep.
Me too. Have a good night, and dark dreams and darker tales don't always lead to darker tides. And then you leave.
Yeah, that's adorable.
So you arrive into your room, and it's the first time you've actually managed to be in there. Perrin didn't tell you much about it when he dropped all your stuff off down there. And as you open the door, the smell of moss and loam over dark, nutrient-rich ground after a fresh rainstorm wafts slowly into your senses. And the air is slightly damp, but cool, under the shade of a broadleaf tree. It smells of lavender and the scent of the brown mushrooms you used to step on. when you first got, climbed or floating down from your tree. It smells like your childhood, but different, more you. There's a lot more gold and silver tread everywhere. There's a dark four-poster bed with thick forest green curtains draped across, around all three of the sides, and a natural firelight lantern that's magically controlled over the four-poster bed, so you can shut out the world and just read if you want. And the feeling of comfort is just so heavy and light at the same time, enlivening and also relaxing, that you're absolutely ready to go to sleep. It's the first night of a long journey, and you have a lot to look forward to. And when you close your eyes, you begin to dream about the first time your father let you carry a saber on what he called a retrieval mission. What you found out later was snatching a pirate's treasure out from his secret cove. And you remember taking your hair out of its tie, standing in the crow's nest, with your saber out and your arm held back at the mast, right? And one boot up onto the crow's nest about on a banister, and you're just pointed forward, looking out toward your heading, your wind whipping in your hair, and it's such a light memory. And you remember when you first approached the Skull Cave, and its gaping maw, and how dark it was. And time kind of stops. All the creatures and all the beings on your father's ship all stop what they're doing. And except for one creature. Standing on the deck is a creature that doesn't belong in this memory. It's a being that you actually think that you recognize, and I need you to roll an insight check now. Do so.
Can I use, my inspiration?
You absolutely can. You use your inspiration.
Yeah, please.
Go ahead. Absolutely.
So you want me to roll again?
Yes. Okay. In this case, I'm not going to allow for a natural 20.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I like you to roll an advantage.
Just rather not roll a 2.
Please.
I'd like to have some information here. There's insight. Or investigation?
Investigation.
Okay, so 12.
Investigation perception check. 12?
Yes.
Yes, you do recognize this face. And the red-scaled, ram-horned creature, bipedal creature, in a dark robe, with a blue coral channeling, or blue coral staff, looks up at you. And he says, "I'm your supervisor."
No.
And he casts 2 instances of Eldritch Blast at you.
Damn. Okay.
One of them is 18. And the other one is a 12.
The 18 hits.
Take 10 damage.
Okay.
Then he tumbles behind a pile of barrels that are on the deck strapped down. So he's completely hidden from view.
Okay.
He's about, like 30 feet down off the mast and about 15 feet away. So he's not very far. He's just,
Right. I just have to fly over there. Okay, is this a thing, like, I get to
and it would
attack
be
him?
your turn.
I get to, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Damn. Okay. I'm gonna fly over then. Still, so I'm, like, above him. Right?
Yeah.
At his level. But so he's in my line of sight. We're gonna use Call Lightning.
Okay.
Okay. So
You have to roll a dexterity save.
you have to roll a Yep, dexterity save.
12.
Roll to 12.
Your spell save DC.
Oh, my spell save DC. Okay, so 14. So you did not pass.
Mm-hmm.
So you get 3d10 lightning damage.
Are you flying over him?
I mean, not directly over him.
No, but you flew into view, right?
Yes.
Alright. So your lightning shoots down from this little storm cloud that you opened up over his head and hits him. He's like, da-da-da! No matter what type of pain you go through now, there's nothing like the pain I went through when you abandoned us in the Underdark. He gets up and he waves his hand, and in his hand is a small gem, and he cracks it down on the ground. And out from it springs a globe of darkness in a 20-foot radius. He is somewhere in there. So it's like a 40-foot area that he is obscured in. And then you're going to disadvantage. I rolled a 19 for an Eldritch Blast shooting out from the globe of darkness.
Okay.
Yes. Seven.
My turn.
And now it's your turn.
Okay, cool. With my sunblade in hand, I am going to fly down into the globe to dissipate the darkness.
Oh, you're going to, like, turn it on.
Like, physically, like, yeah. With,
And, like, you're going to increase the brightness with a bonus action.
Yes. So it does 30 feet of, so it's 15 feet of, like, bright light, and then 15 feet of softer light.
Okay.
With the bonus action, it's 30 feet of bright light.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that, so I should be able to see him.
So you're just diving deep, pulling out this sunblade scimitar.
And I'm diving
And you're
right
just
down
diving.
just to dissipate the darkness and hopefully see my target.
The darkness does dissipate.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And you find rock solid,
Fucking rock.
trying to
solid.
duck behind another barrel, but not having expected that you do dissipate the darkness so easily.
I do feel bad about abandoning rock solid, and, without the proper 2 weeks notice and all that. I do feel a little guilty, which I imagine is why I'm having this dream. Is it my turn?
It
Or
is
it
your turn.
Is
So
it
you
my
know
turn?
you never.
It's still my turn,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, so
you moved
because I
and
didn't
moved
use
the
my
druidic
action.
blade.
Right. For my action, I'm gonna swing at him with my sunblade.
Absolutely. Do so at advantage.
Okay, that's nice of you.
Well, you did dissipate his magical darkness.
I rolled the same thing.
That's fantastic.
So either way, it's a 5. I'm feeling like that doesn't hit.
No, that doesn't.
Okay.
Unfortunately. And as you fly by him, so you're diving down with this sunblade, dissipating his magical darkness, and he's trying to back up from you, and you're just zooming full force, your gossamer wings flapping super fast. And you dive past him, as if, almost reaching Mach speed with this sunblade pointed out in front of you, like, ah! And he's just over here. Right?
Classic.
As you fly by, he whispers in your ear, just loud enough for you to hear. Where was your two notes?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. In your back, so I would imagine, as you fly by, I'm going to shoot 2 Eldritch Blasts at you again.
Perfect.
That is a 15 and a 7.
Neither of them hit.
Okay. So he misses twice as well.
Yeah. Sweet. Okay. Still my turn, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna use an action to activate Call Lightning. Yes?
Yeah.
That's like a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just in the game, that's a thing.
Yeah, activating Call Lightning.
I'm thinking, sure. Okay, so I'm going to activate Call Lightning onto Rock Solid here again. So dexterity saving throw, please.
Absolutely. I rolled a 18.
Does save, so you get half damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Damn, and I rolled terribly, so you only get 4 damage.
Mm. Still a bonus action. And
I do
movement.
still have a bonus action. And a movement.
And movement. You're like 10 feet past him, hovering just over the back.
I'm fine with where I am. Movement wise. Bonus action wise, I'm gonna take a health potion.
Okay. Please roll.
Roll.
It's 1d8 plus 4.
Ooh, yay, 12.
Awesome. Good roll.
Okay.
So, rock solid. You and him are standing off. Warlock the druid. Small tumbleweed passing between you two. And he says to you, across this infinite gulf, yet only 20 feet away. By the time I'm done with you, there won't even be enough left to make ink, to write your termination letter, and cast two more instances of Eldritch Blast right into your chest. One of them hits rolls 18, and then he rolls a 5.
Okay. So he does hit once.
He does hit once. And that's 13 damage. And as he does so, he lifts his cloak over his face, and he goes invisible.
How rude. Well, that's annoying. What I can do, though, is walk towards where I believe he disappeared from, like where I believe him have been standing, so that I'm within 5 feet of that.
Right.
Okay? I can walk or fly down and then like be within 5 feet of that so I can cast Thunderwave.
Okay.
Because I can just cast like a cone of that and then it's...
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter that I can't see him.
That's true.
Okay,
Is
so
it a cone?
Constitution save. It's not a cone. It's a 15-foot cube from myself.
From yourself.
Yes.
Right, so 15 foot, 15 foot, 15 foot in all directions.
Yes.
In a cube. Fantastic. What do I have to roll?
Constitution save.
I got a 13.
And that goes against my DC.
Yeah,
initial
it's
save. Okay. And you said 13?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did fail,
I
which
did fail.
means you get pushed back 10 feet, and
I go on invisible.
you take, yes, into 2d8 thunder damage. Ooh, 16 damage.
So,
And then I'm gonna take another potion.
as you cast Thunder Wave around you, throwing your, making this loud clap, and from you exploding this this absolutely maxed out, powerful force of thunder damage, takes down the invisibility and sends Rock Solid flying. And you can hear the wind rush from his body and it sounds like a soft rumble. And as he's sailing, you look up and you see where he's sailing toward, and he cracks his skull against the mainmast. And you see the light in his eyes just explode. And the smear of blood on the mast as he drops lifelessly to the ground. And as he does so, his face, his head rolls toward you, and he looks you dead into the eye. And all you see